Okay, now I'm going to do 12-8. It's a little bit more complicated, but still very, very similar to what we've been doing. Okay, so start off with a blank, and I like to do Excel first because it lays it all out, lays out all the cash flows. So exercise 12-8, Parrott Industries, so I'm on 12-8 on page 582. Parrott Industries has $100,000 to invest. The company is trying to decide between two alternative uses of the funds. The alternatives are, and then they give you Project A or Project B. The working capital needed for Project B will be released at the end of 6 years for investment elsewhere. Parrott Industries' discount rate is 14%. Ignore income taxes. Which investment alternative, if either, would you recommend that the company accept? Show all computations using the net present value format. Prepare separate computations for each project. So exactly the same, net present value. Let's do it. So Project A, and this is a 6-year project. So I'll just get, 6 years. Or Project B. And net present value is one of the most, one of the best things you can take away from this class because it's used in finance, it's used in so many investments in so many different fields, and so it's really important for you to get down. So let's see, they have $100,000 to invest. So Project A invests the $100,000. And Project B deals with net working capital. And Project A, so I'll just do A without the net working capital. So 100,000, and then annual cash inflows are 21,000. 21,000 for all the annual cash inflows. And then it says, salvage value of equipment in 6 years. So salvage value, is that going to be a positive or a minus? So they're selling off the equipment and they're going to get money, cash back from buying this equipment. So this is going to be a positive inflow. So you'll add that to your cash flows. So at the end of 6 years, they get 8,000 salvage value. So now you're going to want to total all your cash flows. So it's going to be the same for years 1 through year 5, but in year 6 you have that salvage value, so now your cash flow is going to be 29,000. So you would do equals NPV. What's my rate? They told me it was discount rate 14%. 14%. And then just do the cash flows from years 1 on and not the initial investment. So $85,000, but the initial investment was $100,000. So this is pretty much 85,000 minus 100,000. So this is a negative NPV. So this is Project A is not looking good so far, or not looking good at all. I wouldn't choose it even if I had to choose between A and B. So far, I definitely wouldn't be wanting to choose A because I'm not meeting my required rate of return, or not at 0. Required rate of return at 0. So for Project B, there's no initial investment, but there is net working capital. So net working capital is you need extra assets to start doing whatever you're doing. So this one, I don't think it tells you what they're actually doing, but you need extra assets. So like, for example, if you're going to start a new shoe store or a new outlet or branch of that shoe store, you need more inventory. So that would be more net working capital. Remember, net working capital is current assets minus current liabilities, but that's just an example. So you need this extra money up front, so that's like an outflow in year 0, and you're going to get it back. So after you've done this project, you're going to get that money back. So just remember, net working capital is going to be a negative outflow in year 0, and then you're going to get it back. So remember, you're going to recapture it. Almost all of them are going to recapture this net working capital. So in the question it says the net working capital is going to be released and moved elsewhere. So it's negative in the beginning, but you're going to get it back at the end, this net working capital. So just remember as a rule that that's what you do with net working capital. And then our inflows are 16,000 with no salvage value. 16,000. $16,000 for the next years with no salvage value. So make sure you just total up all of your cash flows. So it's exactly the same through years 1 through 5, and then years 6 you're going to get that full $116,000 back. Equals NPV. Rate is still 14%. 14%. Cash flow values. And then you'll take out your initial investment. So that's $107,777 minus our initial investment of $100,000. So I have a positive $7,777.34. So if I'm looking at Project A and Project B exceeds our required rate of return, and so I would choose Project B over Project A. So now you have your cash flows. If you want to look at your calculator, if instead of doing Excel you want to do your calculator, you would say, okay, in my calculator, year 0, I'm going to put a negative $100,000, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, $21,000, and then year 6, $29,000 for Project A. So hopefully I can, I'll remember that. So negative $100,000, negative, and this is for G. So CF0, I have negative $100,000. 21,000. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. So you don't have to clear it. Your registers will stay the same. You can just clear that number you entered out. 21,000. That'll be year 1, and it's already there. So I can just continue with year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and then in year 6 I got that additional 8,000 from the salvage value. So now I have 29,000. Year 6, and we're at 14% discount rate, or rate of return. And then I'll look for my NPV. So negative 14,693. So we'll see, does that match? Oh, yep, it matches exactly what Excel said. So either way you want to do it, you can do it either way. Now I'm going to clear this out and we'll do Project B. So our cash flows, sorry, let me look at my cash flows for Project B. It was negative 100,000, and then year 1 was 16,000 all the way until the last year, which was 116,000 in the last year. So 100,000 negative in year, so I'm changing it negative, GCF0, and then it was 16,000 every year. So for 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the last year, there was 116,000 cash flow. Year 6, and then 14% discount rate, and NPV 777.34. So that was exactly the answer we got using Excel, 77734. Hopefully this is helpful. Now you know how to do it either with your calculator or in Excel, and hopefully you'll be able to ace the NPV problems on the exam.